Bryan Penny is a sophomore here at Bryan College. Penny was born with a condition called spina bifida, which is a birth defect that involves the incomplete development of the spinal cord and its covering. It literally means split spine in Latin. Penny said that he spends 80% of his time in a wheelchair and 20% on crutches. The other day I spent some time with Penny, and he took me through his typical day at Bryan, pointing out some problem areas around campus. We began in Woodley Dorm, headed to his first class of Mercer, and then down the hill to Rudd Auditorium.
So, the door's unlocked. Usually the doors are being held open by various people. I like sitting back further because it's quicker to get out. I'm in the martial arts club, and we do stuff in Brock Hall a lot. There's no elevator in here, obviously. So, have to go in the parking lot behind Latimer and go down that hill and go in on the first level.
That's a pretty steep hill.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you.
And obviously to this floor in your Max Cafe, there's no problem.
Right.
Because of this, obviously. In fact, I was in Max Cafe last night studying for my history test. I was in there for like 2.5 hours.
Do you have Mason Venti?
No. I was at Chat State in Chattanooga and Nicola Highway, and their campus is completely flat.
Really?
Everything's flat on one level.
So it's the hills that kind of make it difficult, yeah.
And I'm right here in this spot.
Yeah.
This desk.
So they just place these desks for all the classes that you're in?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me, like, some of the things that really need to be changed on campus. What are the most problem areas?
If there were an elevator in Rudd, and I think they're kind of aware of this one, that would be really nice. Also the gym, I don't know how practical that one is. There's no elevator on it, or in it. So when I try to go down to the court level, I have to go all the way around behind the girls' dorms and down that hill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of hard, and I don't like going up that hill.
Would you recommend Bryan College to anybody else who is handicapped?
Oh yeah, definitely. But we'd have to evaluate their situation. With me, it's not too bad because I do have mobility, but there are some people who don't have mobility, a lot of mobility that I have.
Yeah.
So it would be a lot more challenging for them, especially if they weren't in a wheelchair. If they were like on crutches or a walker. Because you see people around here all the time who are on crutches because they've broken their foot or something, hurt their knee, and I talk to them and they get so tired going up and down the hills. And I completely understand that, you know. I don't do it anymore. I used to.
Okay.
Since I started martial arts. I've been doing martial arts for 15 years or so. And the physical therapist said, don't come back. Stay in martial arts. It's working.
Yeah.
Just keep doing that and don't come back. So I don't do physical therapy. Some people do. Some kids do. And some are in there their whole lives, you know. And some are just in there for a short time like I was. Some may have to go back between surgeries because I've had tons of surgeries, you know. I've had upwards of 20, 25 surgeries. But short answer to your question is there's no cure to it. There's just ways to help it a little bit, you know.
When you decided to come to Bryan, was how handicap accessible it was. Was that a factor in your decision, or?
It's always a factor. I mean, no matter where you go, it's always a factor. It was a factor in me coming here versus going to Chattanooga. I mean, going to UTC, because the way UTC is set up, it's spread out all over downtown Chattanooga. I mean, you might have one class here, and then 2 miles away you might have another class. So it was definitely a factor in me coming here versus going to, say, UTC.
And how has, like, you talked a little bit about this before, but just to reiterate, like, how's the faculty here and, like, working with Corey talent?
Great. It's great. It's the atmosphere, you know, the attitude that all the teachers have. You know, they're willing to accommodate not just me, but every other student on campus. They're gonna work with you in some shape, form, or fashion. You know, whether it be schoolwork or whether it be a desk like this or needing a note taker such as I do. You know, it's worked out real well. The faculty, especially core talent, all the teachers, you know, they're willing to help me in that regard. So it's not just what they're supposed to do, it's what they want to do, you know. So it's great. I like it here. I really do.